Welcome to Nosing Around with Megan and Tony. Hey Tony, how are you?
Good. How are you, Megan?
Good. Today we were talking about education.
That's right, Megan. We're going to talk about several different aspects of education in Brunswick County today. First off, we're going to start out with 4Kids Only, which is a developmental child care facility here in the county in Charlotte. They cover ages from 6 weeks old all the way up to high school age. Then we're going to talk with somebody from the Brunswick County school system about all the things that are going on there, the needs, the opportunities, things that parents may not know about that they have access to through the website. It's going to be a very good show. And then last but not least, we're going to talk about a partnership between Brunswick Community College and the North Carolina Wesleyan College. The folks from the Wesleyan College will be here. They now have an on-site location at Brunswick Community College. So we look forward to talking to all these folks. One thing I'd like to say is that, you know, education is very important. North Carolina thought it was so important over 100 years ago, they put it in their Constitution. And I think that's very important. That shows that North Carolina is dedicated to education, and we're tickled to be able to talk about it today.
Okay, well, let's get started. I'd like to welcome Heather Coley from 4Kids Only School today. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about 4Kids Only.
4Kids Only is a 5-star developmental day center. We are the only developmental day center in Brunswick County that serves children 6 weeks to, depending on what their needs are, we can serve them up to 18, but most of our children stop at the age of 12.
Developmental daycare. What's the difference in development? What sets that apart, the developmental part, as opposed to all the other daycares out there?
We have another set of rules to follow in the North Carolina child care rules. So where most child care centers follow regular child care rules, we have more rules to follow, such as our ratios. Our ratios are at max 6 children to 1 teacher, whereas the state ratio can be up to 15 students per teacher, depending on if you do enhanced. And we also have licensed teachers by the state of North Carolina in all of our classrooms ages 3 and up, which is a requirement by developmental day.
And how many students do you have in the school right now?
We have around 250 students currently enrolled.
And they range from, like you said, 6 weeks to high school age.
Well, we are a developmental day center, and the other part that makes us different is that we serve children with special needs in our school. So we have typically developing children in a classroom inclusive with children that are diagnosed with special needs. And this can be speech language impairment up to children who are diagnosed with Down syndrome. And so we do serve some after-schoolers who are a little bit older that have a specific diagnosis such as Down syndrome, and we do have a visually impaired student who are not able to stay home. So we don't have very many that are much older, but we do have a couple that still need our care. And
our folks in the community have that opportunity if they have a special needs child that they can come to you and qualify them to be part of the program.
That's right. And we have a contract through Brunswick County Schools to provide those services inside of our school. So we partner with them, and they help us to write a plan, which is called an IEP for those students, and it is served in the classroom by our licensed teachers.
And I know our president has both of her kids at 4Kids Only, and I hear them talk about it all the time, and they come in and tell me every so often what they're learning, and I am amazed with 4-year-olds what they are learning. I know right now we talked about them learning German, and I think they've learned Spanish, and they can do all of their numbers in different languages, and I'm just really amazed. And I think that's another thing that really sets you aside is those kids at 4 years old or whatever age they may be are really y'all are going above and beyond and teaching them unique things. So what are some of the things that you feel like that sets you aside or that makes you special, kind of, for example, what I was talking about, those foreign languages and stuff like that?
Well, our teachers base their lesson plans every week on what's called creative curriculum. And so they take the interest of the children and they plan their lesson plan based on a book. So they'll choose a book and they'll plan everything based on that. And so, for example, we had a teacher that she was learning about Japan. And so they built a sushi bar in their dramatic play area, and the kids helped them make sushi, and they ate sushi. And we have tablets in all the classrooms that they can use for research. And so they pulled up clothes in Japan and showed the children that. They made homemade books out of showing them some of the things, what the people look like in Japan and what they're, what other kind of foods they eat. And
Wow.
they make every area of learning, blocks, art, they add things for that theme to help the children's interest. And that makes them, want to learn about it.
Right.
We try to do a lot of learning of other cultures and other, things that you may not know more about. The teachers did a fundraiser to raise money to provide clean water in Haiti, and the children and the families helped us do that, and we were able to raise about, I think it was about $800 just from our families that we sent to Haiti, and the kids were able to go on and look at videos of that to see where the money went. So we do a lot of things that are different, or just kind of, take it a little bit further. Mm-hmm. The teachers also this year, a couple of our teachers recorded our very own Christmas CD. So every classroom, they sang a song or did a part in this CD, and then we sold them for $5 a piece to raise money for the Brunswick toy run this year.
Cool,
So
very
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Are those still available?
they are actually. I actually found 2 in my bag yesterday. I stuck them on my desk. But that was pretty cool, and the families were really excited about hearing, their children on the recording. Some of them even wrote their own Christmas songs and did that on there. So even our after schoolers did songs on there too. So we included them as well.
I'll have to go and listen to that CD.
Talking about the developmental daycare again, and going back to, you mentioned when we were talking just a minute ago about speech impediment, speech pathology. Do you have an on-site staff member that is a speech pathologist to help with those kind of things? Or?
They're not employed by us, but we contract with 3 agencies, a speech therapist. We actually have 2 speech therapists on site every day. We have 2 physical therapists on site every day, and we have an occupational therapist on site. And they serve the children in the classroom. Mm-hmm. And also we have a therapy room that has equipment and things for whatever the children may need.
And Heather, if someone was interested in having their child at 4 Kids Only and wanted to be a part of 4 Kids Only, what would be the process that they would have to go through, and maybe some contact information, if you don't mind sharing that with us?
We are open from 6 in the morning until 6 in the afternoon. There's actually 3 administrators at 4 Kids Only. I'm the director, and then we have an assistant director, and then we also have a licensed behavior therapist that is there 2 days a week, and she also is an administrator. And we can give a tour and give them any information they would like to see. They can come in and visit and stay a little while and kind of see what happens on a day-to-day basis in our classrooms. Okay. We encourage that. We actually have more classrooms than we're the largest in this county. So we actually have 11 infant and toddler classes and preschool classes that
and
we can.
And you guys have been around how long now?
Oh, wow, let's see. Miss Pamela Wheat is the owner, and I think they opened in the late 80s.
And you've been there for 15 years, you were telling
I've been there for 15 years, yes.
A lot of good history there, too,
yes.
to lean on a lot of...
That is another thing that's really fabulous about 4 Kids Only is the teachers come and stay.
Yeah.
And if they do leave, they generally come back. And so we don't ever say goodbye, really. We say, we'll see you later, because they always come back. We do a lot to try to keep, our teachers happy and giving more things. We just started a new retirement program, and we do a lot of incentives during, the holidays, and we do a big teacher appreciation week, and we really try to, especially we want to make sure that if they're coming to work and they're there for the right reasons, and the kids are, it's better for everybody all the way around.
Exactly.
So we really try to do what's best for our teachers and our students.
Well, Heather, I really appreciate you being on the show today. Will you share your contact information one more time, maybe the telephone number for 4 Kids Only?
And a website? You got a website, too?
We actually, we had a website. It was kind of hard to get it off the ground, but we do have a Facebook page under 4 Kids Only Child Development Center. And my name is Heather Coley, and I'm the director. And the number there is 910-754-7777.
Okay.
And street address?
It is 344 Mulberry Street in Charlotte. It's right past Autumn Care. There's actually a church, and we're right behind that church. It gets kind of confusing. I think people think we're in the church. We're just that building behind the church, and we have a great playground.
Well, thank you again for being on the show, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We'll be right back. We are back with our second guest on the show today, Jessica Swencki with Brunswick County School Systems. Thank you so much for being on our show today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome, Jessica. Glad to have you here. Good to see you again.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We've got 19 schools in Brunswick County from start to finish, from elementary school to high school. So we have a large range from anywhere from in Charlotte to Leland area. Tell us about how many students we have in Brunswick County.
We currently have around 12,500 students in our 19 schools. Those students are educated in buildings that are about 2 million square feet.
Wow.
On around 700 acres of land. So our county continues to grow, and so do the needs of our school system.
I was with Judge Warren the other day, and he was talking about there are some plans in the works for some additional schools coming up.
Absolutely.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir. There absolutely are. So 2 years ago, Brunswick County Schools engaged in a facility study, and out of that facility study, there were over $200 million worth of needs identified. Right now, those have actually been scaled back to around $171 million. Those needs actually represent not only new building projects for our system, but also maintenance on the existing infrastructure that we do have. We have sort of been in a cycle of deferring major maintenance over the course of the last few years, and as a result of that, we annually see that our repair and renovation budget exceeds what is technically budgeted every year. Capital dollars are really generated by the taxpayers in Brunswick County,
right.
And annually our budget really is around $4 million. We've received a slight infusion from state lottery funds, about $750,000 a year, which kind of offsets some of our debt service that we're already paying on projects. Some of the things that we're currently dealing with really are in the north area of our county. We have a population explosion right now. Our Leland Middle School just has actually opened a modular village of 19 classrooms in the back. So then we also have North Brunswick High School, which right now has a tremendous number of mobile units, but one of the projects that was being discussed, or that will actually take place, is a new building that will actually go on the North Brunswick campus to add classroom space to replace those modular units. So we do have some projects in the works, but again, those are projects that are debt service to the county. There really are no new funding streams, no new revenue streams, and so we really have to think about the future and how are we going to continue to meet the needs of our county. We know that the Brunswick County citizens have a real understanding that a strong school system, a healthy school system, really is one of the key elements in making sure that we are economically stable in Brunswick County. And so we've appreciated their support in the past, and probably within the near future we'll be asking them again to consider a bond referendum to help offset some of these major building expenses that we're currently facing.
That's right. We see so many times there's a shortfall in education, and we hate to see that. So I think getting out and educating our public, our taxpayers, our voters on what is necessary to keep our schools up to par and to keep those grades. And I know you were talking about the new grading system recently.
Absolutely.
That went through legislature. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So North Carolina has historically produced a report card for every school in North Carolina and a summary for every school system. This year that report card was revised, and it really is a much better report card. It provides a great snapshot of how a school and a system are functioning. But added to that this year, the legislation actually was passed to include an A through F letter grade for every school in the state. And that was actually legislated, and the formula by which that letter grade was actually assigned was also legislated. So Brunswick County schools, over 3/4 of our schools received a grade of C or better on the report card. It is actually higher than the state average in Brunswick County. All of our high schools, all 4 of our high schools actually received a grade of C or higher, so 100% of them. But what we think is most important about the A through F grading scale is that 80% of that grade is really based on a one-time per year assessment that a student would actually take. So that's considered proficiency. That does not take into account any child in K through 2 in our school system, and it also does not take into account subjects like world languages, social studies, health and physical education. So it's very narrow in its scope. The other 20% of the grade is actually what we feel as educators is the most important, and that's growth. And basically, it's the assurance that when you send your children to school in Brunswick County, that they will receive a year's worth of benefit for the year that they have spent in our schools. To us, that's really the more important indicator. Children who come to us with certain risk factors may not be able to automatically be proficient on a state exam. But we can help guarantee that those children will make annual growth each year. So we hope that in the future that the legislation will change and that the formula will be more reflective of what we believe is most important, which is that individual growth for our students. It's also what the state bases teacher evaluation on and principal evaluation. So if growth is important in that regard, we hope it will be considered. Now, does that mean that this is not important, that the letter grade is not important? No. But we do want people to understand what it means.
Right.
It is not the be-all, end-all report card grade that most of us are familiar with or have gotten in our own past when we were in schools.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a whole different animal, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And we really do want people to go and check out those report cards. The link to those are right on the homepage of the Brunswick County Schools website, and they provide so much information about teacher quality, about teacher working condition survey, about discipline incidents. For me, it is a resource that I frequently point parents to when they're considering moving to our school system. It's really a great resource. But the grade that's on that report card, the letter grade, really is only one small piece of information about the total effectiveness of a child's school.
And talking about that online system too, that system is available for parents too to get a real-time picture of where their kids are in their studies and their grades.
Yes, absolutely.
And everything.
Absolutely. So North Carolina unrolled a package called Power School or Home Base. And within that, it's our student data management system. Every parent can access the parent portal. And if this is not something that we have parents in Brunswick County who are not signed into the parent portal, go to your child's school, get your child's password so that you can go in. It is 24/7 live time. It will tell you attendance. It will tell you progress report grades. It is a wonderful tool of communication between home and school. So please get out there and get those logins for Parent Portal.
Great resource.
Absolutely.
Yes. And what is your title, or what do you actually do for the school system?
I am very fortunate. I actually wear two kind of distinct hats in the system. I work with community engagement, so one of the things that I truly enjoy doing is working with all of the different support groups in Brunswick County. I also serve as the media liaison for the county, social media, and just try to keep internal and external communication flowing within the system. But the other part that I do, I'm actually a school administrator. I was a special education teacher and administrator for years. I was actually a North Carolina teaching fellow, so I am very, I knew I wanted to be in the field of education. So I work with schools on school improvement and district improvement strategies. So I think the combination allows me to see a unique perspective when we do work with the community on different projects.
Okay.
So folks that have watched the show this month and see this, what's a good way for them to get in touch if they have questions, and who do they need to contact? Would that be you?
Certainly. So if a parent has a question about what's happening in their child's classroom or their child's school, they should go directly to the child's teacher or to the principal of the school. If they have a question about county operations or how they can get involved, or any questions generally about our system, they can feel free to reach out to me. There is actually on our website a section that says Contact Us right on the homepage. If people click on Contact Us, they're actually communicating directly with me. Our system also has social media access, so Facebook is a great way to get some of those messages going, as well as Twitter. We actually do have a pretty strong Facebook following in the county. Awesome. With inclement weather, obviously being something that's on people's minds, it really is sort of our go-to location for putting up most current information about our schools. So feel free to reach out.
And what is that website again? Address.
It is bcswan.net.
Okay.
And right on that homepage, you can also directly access our Facebook and Twitter feeds as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you, Jessica, for being on our show today. We really appreciate it, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you so much for having me.
And one last thing for you folks to remember, the North Carolina State Constitution guarantees your children public education. So this is very important for everyone in North Carolina for educational purposes. So please be involved and get involved with what's going on in your children's lives.
Thank you, and we'll be right back. I'd like to welcome our guest on the show today, Brittany Hayes from North Carolina Wesleyan College. Thank you so much for being on our show today.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome, Brittany. Glad to have you here.
Great to be here.
And North Carolina Wesleyan College has partnered with Brunswick Community College and other colleges to begin a program, the Adult Learning Program. So tell us a little bit about that program and what it has to offer.
We offer our adult degree program at Brunswick Community College, where anybody in the community in Brunswick County can get their bachelor's degree right here in town. Our program is for anyone who's 21 years of age or older and has some college credits or their associate's degree. And there's different programs that they can choose from to fit their lifestyle.
Brittany, tell us a little bit about the different programs that you have to offer.
Sure, we have a wide variety of programs from today's hottest industries. There's business administration, organizational administration, marketing, accounting, psychology, criminal justice, and teacher education.
Oh, wow. So you have a large variety of programs they can choose from. That's nice. And tell us a little bit about the details of the program. So it's an adult learning program. How long is the course, and is it on campus? Is it a hybrid course? Tell us a little bit of the details.
So our program varies. Really, you could pick the best program that fits your lifestyle. All of our classes, if you take seated, are offered at night from 6 to 10 p.m., so you can work during the day. Also, there's classes that are online as well, so if you can't get out of work or if you work at nighttime, you can take classes online and really pick your schedule to what matches your lifestyle best.
And typically, how long does it take someone who has an associate's degree to complete their bachelor's through this program?
It usually takes about 1.5 to 2 years to complete. Our classes are 8 weeks, so they're accelerated, and a smaller class size so that you really get that one-on-one attention with your professor, which seems to go over well with the adult learner since they have circumstances that aren't what a traditional student faces.
And within those 8 weeks, is the class every night if they decided to do it on campus?
Typically, if they take a seated class, it's only one night a week.
Okay.
So you don't have to commit your entire week to just going to school.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Also, tell us a little bit about the history of North Carolina Wesleyan, if you don't mind. I know you guys have a main campus just up the road, and you're
a little bit further than up the road. But the main campus is in Rocky Mount, which is our traditional four-year school. That's where a typical 18-year-old who's graduating high school would go in and complete their four-year degree. And then our program is the community college partnership. So we have our partnership with Brunswick Community College. We also have other partnerships throughout northeastern North Carolina. I believe there's 16 partnerships now throughout the state. Don't quote me on that number, though. Maybe 12. Okay, 12 partnerships throughout the state. Really just tapping into so that one degree doesn't fit all, so that other students who may have had life circumstances come up that they couldn't go to school right out of high school, they can now go back and get their degree.
So, Brittany, let's get back to talking about the classes that you offer. Can these folks take these if they can't get out and get to the campus? Can they take 100% online, or do they need to come on campus for some things?
Well, that's a great question. Since most people's work may not allow for that, they can take 95% of the program online. And for those classes that we don't offer online, they can take back at the community college and then transfer them back into our program.
Okay.
Brittany, since you've come up with this new program, why should a student or an adult choose Wesleyan? What makes you unique and sets you aside from any other college?
Well, as you know, there's many colleges in this region here. Our program is different because we do go above and beyond for our students. We're there to help them throughout the entire process. They work usually with one person from start to finish. Our customer service is top-notch. There's nothing that we can't do to help a student. We're also right here in town, which is convenient for them. They don't have to leave. Their families are most likely here. They could stay close to home, be here for their families. Also, we're priced competitively. Although we are a private school, our prices are competitive with the state schools.
And speaking of price, what is the cost of this program?
It's $265 per credit. That's for online or for a seated class. And we don't have in-state or out-of-state tuition, so across the board it's the same price for everyone.
Okay. Brittany, tell us a little bit about the schedule for the classes. I know we talked about it being an 8-week course, but when do those classes start?
There's currently a session going on right now, and the next one will start in May.
Okay. And it happens every 8 weeks?
Every 8 weeks. So we never take a break, only for around Christmas time.
Okay. Registration. How soon before that 8-week session starts do they need to be online getting their registration and meeting with their advisors typically?
Ideally, we would like to have them come in about a month before the session starts, just to give us enough time to make sure all the paperwork is taken care of, make sure that they get into the classes that they want, that they don't fill up, and just to make sure that everything is set in place so that we're not running around last minute. Although they can come in a week before classes start too if we really have to.
And, Tony started talking about the process of applying. What would an individual need to do? Do they need to go online and fill out that application? And what do they need to do?
Sure. They can go onto our website and fill out an application there. We fall under the Aspire program, which is our adult degree. So if they go to ncwc.edu, they can get an application there. You have to be 21 years of age or older. You have to have your associate's degree or substantial credits from a four-year school already. But typically, most of our students have their associate's degree from one of our partnered community colleges. And then we will set up an appointment, see how your credits transfer over, and you also have to pass a background check.
Okay. And will you give our viewers the contact information again
Sure.
for anyone that is interested in this program with North Carolina Wesleyan College?
Sure, they can contact me directly. My email address is bhays@ncwc.edu, so that's BHAYS at ncwc.edu. They can go on to our website and find out a little bit more about our program if they have any questions. That's ncwc.edu. And they could give us a call at 910-520-6786.
One last thing too, Brittany, you guys have an on-site campus office location. Can you tell them where they can find that,
Sure.
our folks?
I am at the Brunswick County campus, Community College, in the B building, room 247. So stop by and see me.
Okay.
Thanks.
Be happy
Thank
to
you
help
so
out.
much for being on the show today.
Thank
we really
you for
appreciate
having
it.
us.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We'll be right back.
Wow, Megan, we had a good show today, didn't we?
Did.
We had Heather with 4 Kids Only here. She gave us a lot of information. I hope it'll be helpful to folks about daycare and developmental child care. Then we had Jessica with the Brunswick County School System, talked about a lot of unique things there that are going on and the capital needs and all.
The report cards.
Report cards, very important. And then we had Brittany here with North Carolina Wesleyan College, talked about all the offerings that they have on campus and online and opportunities for financial aid. A lot of good information for our folks out there today.
Great guest today. I learned a lot.
Yep, great.
And we've got some new events that we're doing at the Chamber that I want to let our viewers know about. We are still doing our Power Hour every month, and that takes place at Planet Fun. And those dates are on our calendar. And we're also doing a new program, Thursday Perks.
Right.
And that'll be actually every month or twice a month. We're seeing how that kind of takes off right now. And that will take place at the Chamber office as well. We've got Business After Hours coming up this month, and that'll be at Neighbor Dodge, March 26th. And then I am playing for the Oyster Festival. This
Already.
is our 35th year, and I am so excited, and I am jumping right in and playing in. So we've got some great events coming up, and please check our Chamber calendar, or you can call us at 910-754-6644, or go to our website, brunswickcountychamber.org. So Tony, we had a great show today, and we'll see you next month.
Chamber Highlight Set is provided by Summer Home Furniture, located on Express Drive in Charlotte. Stop by today to outfit your home in style.